Here's where Rose and Barry are chit-chatting. And aren't you going to sleep, Barry? Rose asks me as she sees me just standing there. So this is where we are supposed to pick the choice. Tell Rose what you notice about flower and petal. Tell her to go on ahead before I need to do my inventory. Tell her what I just noticed about flower and petal. Actually, I was thinking of staying up for a little longer, and that's whispered in Rose's ear. The notice about flower and petal, and tell her that I want to have a little discussion with the band. She better go to sleep. Rose gasps. Barry, that's an excellent idea, she says. Hold on, just give me a second to leave my backpack inside the tent. Come with you. And the two of us make our way. Yeah, this is the same thing. We go up there and talk to her. She gives us like food and whatnot. Cut to the I don't think this is an important choice anyway. Cut to the chase, human. She says, I've never been very fond of the roundabout way in which you people like to start your conversations. You're here because you don't trust me to guard your camp by myself, aren't you? No, just wanted to get to know you. Actually, I just wanted to talk about the weather. No, I just wanted to get to know you. Well, then you're either a fool or a liar. Petal says, nobody should trust a banshee to have their best interests at heart without some very strong evidence to back up with such a claim. And Flower is nowhere near a reliable enough source of information when it comes to such matters. Yeah, we already read all this. I've read this. Here's another meaningless choice. Darren and Flower are about to like beat the shit out of each other when they're changing shifts or whatnot. So we're just gonna go, hey now, let's all calm down. We're on the same team here, right? I don't know, are we? Darren says, everything worked out fine because you and Rose figured out what happened and when to keep a close watch on her. But who is to say that she wouldn't have slit her throats in her sleep if left unsupervised? There would be no need to use such underhanded tactics to rid myself of a handful of mages that can't even use magic, Iluna says. You and your friend pose no threat to me in your current condition. If you have a bone to pick with me, healer, then I'll be more than happy to show you that I'm not bluffing. Yeah, we have already seen all this. Right, this is where we are essentially blocking Darren, and we'd like bring out a dagger and whatnot. We stand in front of them, and Rose is pleading to Darren and whatnot. Darren sheathes his sword. I'm not going to fight you, Barry, he says. I was hoping to intimidate you into backing down, but I suppose that if you aren't the type to get intimidated by a Stillwater or dragon, a sword isn't exactly going to do me much good. If you feel so strongly about it, then I have no choice but to leave matters as they are for now. You're right about Kate, so I can only hope their instincts are right this time too. Well, with these last words, Darren and Hardrick walk past us to take the station at the top of the hill, while Rose, Iluna, and I head down towards our tent. The three of us descend down the hill without uttering a single word to each other, and then we reach Flower's tent. Iluna turns her head towards me before going in. Your intervention from earlier was unnecessary, human, she tells me. I could have taken care of that healer without your help. Come on, don't be like that, I say. Friends should stick out for each other in their time of need. You seem to be under the false impression that you and I are friends. I assure you that you could not be any further from the truth. Relax, I only wanted to make sure we don't lose our guide. I didn't do this for you. I did it for Flower's sake. Love you too, Iluna. And since this is not a meaningful choice, Flower and petal, yeah, this is not a meaningful choice. I'm gonna go with love you too, Iluna. The banshee frowns at me. I will give you one warning, human. One warning only, she says. Do not make the mistake. Yeah, she's just saying this because she's like gonna quote unquote betray us when we are in the ogre camp or whatever. Good night, Iluna. Blah blah blah. Well, I say that went pretty well. Yeah, besides this and that, there's a little bit of flower in all of us, Barry, Rose says, and we're gonna move on. The last time I left Rose with Kate because I thought that would be a good idea, but apparently it is not a good idea. The guide says that I should take Rose with me, so try to convince them it's safer to take Rose with us. I think it would be safer to take Rose with us to the stronghold, I say. We have been told that the ogres have mages within their ranks. If even one of these mages happen to be in the scouting party, Kate will have no chance to beat him. The lad makes a good point, Hardrick says. Too risky to leave Rose behind, and I say, we take her with us. If we manage to protect her in the ruins, we can do it here too. Darren turns towards Rose. Rose, is that okay with you? He asks her. Of course, she says. We've already been through much worse together. I'll try my best not to get in anyone's way once we enter the fort. Before we make any concrete plans, Hardrick says, could we maybe go over the leopard's briefing one more time? His accent in common was horrible, and I'm not sure if I got all he said. First, well, first of all, Kate says the chalice we are meant to retrieve was used to give water unique healing properties, which could cure some illness that was incurable through the use of spells. The artifact itself looks like a regular golden chalice, except it has a triangular markings on the side. Regarding the stronghold's defenses, the leopard said that the ogre are primarily divided into regular warriors that use big clubs to fight and mages that have a variety of magic specialties. The most dangerous ones then we should be able to be on the lookout for are the shaman, who would easily recognize by the multitudes of tattoos inscribed on his body, the stronghold captain, who is the only ogre warrior in the fort that wears heavy armor. That should be about the main gist of it. If this chalice of theirs is so important, I don't see why the fox doesn't come back. Yeah, because the power is related to the sacred words. Okay, definitely have read this. This is a meaningless choice. We are asking, like, why is the fort looking so empty? Because there's no one on the walls. Maybe they're onto us. I want to lure us into a trap. I agree, Darren says. We have been told that the mages are quite capable, as it's entirely possible they're using magic to detect when someone is approaching the stronghold. Unfortunately, we do not have the luxury to stand here and wait for them until they get bored. Time is not on our side. We can't really tell what they're trying to accomplish until we actually enter the fort. Yeah, whatever. Petley and I have a secret plan, which they essentially are going to get us captured and whatnot, all that bullshit. Yeah, I believe I have gotten this check before as well. So hearing check level 2, observation check level 1, while Rose Flower, but I will read it again because I like reading check successful ones. While Flower and Kate were talking, I heard what sounded like footsteps somewhere behind me. I immediately turned around to see if we are being followed, and there's no one there. Or was it just my imagination? I started to take a look. What the fuck is wrong with my tongue? I can't read. I need to drink some water or something. I started to look carefully at the area where I heard the sound earlier. Everything seems to be in order except for one small detail that catches my attention. The grass is unusually flat right around the spot where I heard those footsteps. It's as if a force is pushing the particular patch of grass towards the ground in the same way it would be pushed if someone were to stand on it. The crazy thought occurs to me, and then I aim my crossbow somewhere a few feet above the flat grass. Barry, what are you playing at? Darren asked me. Put that crossbow down and let's go to the fort. I pay him no mind and shoot an arrow at the empty space in front of me. Instead of going through the air, instead the arrow stops in mid-flight. A trickle of blood starts coming out from its tip. Soon afterwards, a hideous creature begins to slowly materialize in front of him, with my arrow sticking out of its big belly. The monster is about 8 feet tall, holy shit, with thick grey skin. It's wearing nothing other than a loincloth around its waist. 2 of its lower fangs are sticking out of its closed mouth, and his forehead is exceedingly narrow on his face. It's wearing one of the dumbest expressions I've ever seen in my life. Yoga shouts loudly, pulls the arrow out from one of his hands. Yeah, blah blah blah. Nice one, Barry. Dunn says the 2 ogres crash his falls. Yeah, they probably killed him. I wouldn't even have imagined that the ogres have access to such advanced spells as invisibility. Shaman of theirs is really not to be taken lightly. Once we make sure that there are no other invisible ogre scouts in the area, we grab our weapons and start our final march towards the fortress. Yeah, we already know all this. So here we are in the fortress, and here we are. Oh no, you don't. Which is exactly what are we getting at? Keep your guards up, Darren says as he looks around. There could be attack from any direction. While we make our way inside the inner yard, Arca suddenly shouts to make a very loud noise from inside the amulet. Oh no, you don't. Flower says, if I open the amulet now, you're just going to shout as loud as you can. Give our position to the ogres, aren't you? Not going to fool me again. Arca makes an even louder, muffled sound, and she doesn't appear to have any intention of stopping. We're supposed to convince Flower to open the amulet. Try to convince Flower to open the amulet. Flower, I say, I hear it's clear the ogre already know we are here. I don't think she wants to give away our position to them. Maybe she figured out where they are hiding and wants to let us know. Could you open the amulet and see what she wants? Well, if you say so, Flower says as she opens the amulet. They're invisible, you idiots, Araka shouts with all of her might as soon as we are able to hear her. They're invisible and they have you all surrounded. Shoot them. Yeah, this is the same shit. We have all read all this. They're gonna trap us into a cage or whatnot, and we are fine. This is a meaningless choice. We're just gonna talk shit. Who cares? We are here to join your merry band. No, it's just pointless. There's no reason to explain ourselves to a monster. If I were you, I'd be more careful with my words, human. Shaman says with a grin gone from his face. You aren't exactly in the position to refuse demands at this time. Like, hell we aren't, you ugly bastard. We're going to plow through your minions faster than ever seen the order to attack. I see. Then I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to drop your weapons, human. As of right now, you're our prisoners. Yeah, that's not how it's going to go. With a grin on his fist. And then he like uses a spell and then captures us. And like, I was like, oh no, we got betrayed by the fucking petal or whatnot. And we are in chapter 10. So this is the exact same choice I'd made last time as well. The guide says choose. Actually, I'm not sure so sure she betrayed us, which is exactly what I picked last time as well, because I was like, she is behaving in a very particular way, which I noticed when I was playing this last time, and that's why I did. Actually, I'm not so sure she really betrayed us. Actually, I'm not so sure she really betrayed us, and this is just like everyone is gonna be like, well, huh? That's not happening, and this and that. Then Eluna is gonna come and save us, and then she's gonna give us the sword, and Darren is not convinced. He's gonna be like, oh, give me the sword, Barry, I'm gonna cut her and kill her or whatever bullshit.